I'm Alan Spears with Occupy Democrats, and I don't want to curb your enthusiasm this morning, but we need to have a talk about Larry David. For those of you unaware, Larry David is a renowned comedian and writer who created the show Seinfeld and has just recently finished up his long-running show, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Now, in a clip I'm going to be showing you here momentarily, Larry David is actually pretty well known for having some pretty brutal takedowns and roast of a lot of his fellow comedians and a variety of different celebrities who happen to be in the spotlight. And good lord, did Larry not hold back when he went on to CNN for an interview and discussed his thoughts about Donald Trump and what another presidency under him would look like and what it would mean for our country. Now, if you're like me, you enjoy a good takedown or a good humbling of someone who's a little too high and mighty, especially if it's Donald Trump. But Larry in this interview absolutely destroys him. Despite being 76 years old, Larry proves that he is still just as sharp and quick-witted as ever and capable of throwing a few good comedic punches Trump's way. And again, like Larry said, Donald Trump is an absolute sociopath. He is clearly this compulsive liar who at this point I don't think can properly discern fact from fiction or reality from fantasy. Trump's first term was already bad enough, but a second presidency, a second term, where he's already said he's going to be a dictator, at least on day one, right? That'll last forever, and he's already said he wants to get revenge. He wants to seek vengeance on his political rivals, and that should scare the hell out of all of you. Now, before I show you this clip, I want to point out that Larry is just one of many different comedians and celebrities that are really kind of stepping forward and coming forth into the public spotlight and just laying into Donald Trump. And honestly, I think that Larry, along with all the other comedians and celebrities and all these big names that are coming out and showing their disdain and contempt for Donald Trump, I think this is actually really great. As we're getting really close to the election, we are just a few months away. And as we've stated previously on this channel, this is seriously going to be one of, if not the most important election in the United States history. We cannot have some man-baby tyrant like Donald Trump lead our country, because if he steps into the White House once again, he's not going to leave this time. And one of the best ways that we as the people can express ourselves and really is indicative of a free and balanced democracy is the ability for comedians to go on television, go online, and make jokes at other politicians' expenses. For example, we have the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where a lot of different celebrities and comedians and notable figures in our culture gather at the White House and take a few good jabs and well-intended jokes at the president and his administration and the events that have taken place. This has been a staple for practically every presidency. However, there has been one notable exception. 3 guesses as to who. Being able to step back and just kind of make a few jokes at your own expense and have a little bit of self-deprecating humor is really healthy and really honestly a great way to show your humility and your humanity. I can only hope that Larry David has a lot more in store for us, because what he displayed and what he brought to CNN in his interview was absolutely savage, and I can't wait for you to see what he had to say. Take a look.
Oh, I mean, you can't go a day without thinking about what he's done to this country, because he's such a little baby that he's thrown 250 years of democracy out the window by not accepting the results of an... I mean, it's so crazy. He's such a sociopath. He's so insane. He just couldn't admit to losing. And we know he lost. He knows he lost. And look how he's fooled everybody. He's convinced all these people that he didn't lose. He's such a sick man. He's so sick. Anyway, no, it hasn't impacted me at all.
I gotta say, this is absolutely savage, and I love Larry David for this, but I will disagree with him on one point. Donald Trump hasn't fooled everyone. Oh, he's fooled his base, for sure. No doubt. There is a significant group of people in this country that are taking in every single word that Donald Trump says as the gospel truth. But there is such a large amount of people, and I think that number is continuing to grow, that see Donald Trump for the charlatan and the liar and the crook that he truly is. But Larry is absolutely right. 250 years we've had this fantastic country, this wonderful democracy filled with freedoms and the room to improve ourselves and better ourselves. And Donald Trump has taken that dream, taken that legacy, and spit on it. Everything that this man touches turns to absolute crap. He's a baby. He is a man-child that cannot accept the results of an election that he knows in his heart of hearts. I know that he knows deep down the results were fair. The results were accurate. Trump does not give a single shit about this country. He only cares for himself and what he can get from it. He doesn't care about the citizens that work to keep this country moving and functioning. He doesn't care about the men and women that have served and died protecting this country. He doesn't care about you. He only cares about himself. It is such a shame that so many people flock to this man when he has nothing but decades proving that he is a criminal and a liar, and yet still his base just drink up every word he says. It genuinely gives me concern, and I think Larry David absolutely is right when he does say that Trump has managed to convince these people that he cares, or has tricked them into this belief that the MAGA movement is anything other than an insane cult. And sort of like how Larry alluded to there at the very end, oh, it hasn't affected him. It clearly has, and it's clearly affected all of us. How many years are we going to have to endure this insane con man's lies and schemes to power? It is getting so exhausted. I know that you all must be tired of hearing about Donald Trump, and I know I am. Nothing would make me happier than for Donald Trump to just simply disappear to Mar-a-Lago for the rest of his days, never to be heard from or seen again, but I know that's not going to happen. So until our sweet dreams come true of Trump disappearing into the moonlight and never to be seen or heard from again, thank God we have Larry David going on stage and going on television to absolutely destroy Trump in these brutal takedowns. Hopefully Larry's got a lot more for us.